Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Morning Tea Talk with me, Miss Ruby. Type yes if you guys can hear me. I had somebody comment yesterday saying that the volume has been a problem.
Morning. Welcome to another episode of Morning.
So I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Let me adjust the camera so you can see me. How's that? Okay. So you should be able to see me, hear me. Let's see how much of me you can see. Welcome to everyone who's here. Type yes if you can see me and if you can hear me. I'm still making adjustments because, it's not that I'm unprepared. It's just that I guess I'm unprepared. I'm here for it. Good morning, Miss Ruby. I could see you. I could hear you fine. Awesome. Trying to get this hair out of my face. In my pineapple. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Morning Tea Talk. It's me, Miss Ruby, and today we're going to talk about pain. This is a very serious topic for me, so I hope you guys are here for it. Let me know right now in the comments if you guys are dealing with any long-term pain that you really haven't quite figured out how to work through, because that's what we're talking about today. If you hear little noises in the background, it's because my baby is about 10 feet away from me. Here with me on this live. Okay. So, I'm going to give a few seconds for a few more people to get on, and then we are going to begin discussing it. But just as an introduction, this time of year usually results in a lot more depression and then a lot more suicide. They say holiday season, which is really ironic to me because for some of us, holiday season is the happiest time of year. Tell me what you guys think. Is holiday season typically a time where you're more depressed, a time where you're happier? Why? Tell me some things you guys may be going through. But it's been on my mind because I know people personally, I know myself. We talked about it yesterday in my video about depression, and I know that it is a lot more prevalent this time of year. Personally, I do know some people, and I know some of their personal problems, and when I think about their issues along with my issues, it makes me want to talk about this subject of pain. And I want to start off by just telling you guys that when it comes to pain, just because it hurts doesn't mean your situation is hopeless, i.e. the title of this video. It's easy to sulk in your depression, beat yourself up for all your mistakes, all that's gone wrong in your life. That's easy to do. And when I say that, I don't mean to say that pain is easy to deal with, but dealing with your pain can happen a number of ways. One of the ways can be to sulk in it. It can be to lie down and just give up in the face of adversity, to lie down and give up in the battle. That's a way that a lot of us deal with pain. Pain comes in a variety of ways, okay? Sometimes there are major, really intense pains that have a crucial effect on your life, and sometimes it's small pains. It's baby pains. But no matter what, I like to believe that all pain can lead to growth. I believe that pain is purposeful, and so I wanted to talk to you guys today about some of the thoughts that I have in terms of pain and how you can hopefully work through and get through a lot of the pain that you've been dealing with that you haven't been able to conquer so far. Good morning. When you're lonely. Oh my gosh, when you're lonely, it can be so painful. I talked to my husband about it before, saying that the pain of heartbreak is one that I don't ever want to experience again. I remember that pain, and honestly, I haven't had to experience that pain in a long time. And for me, the pain of heartbreak was one of the most difficult pains to work through, and I experienced that as a very young girl. And I know some people, oh, that's puppy love, whatever. Man, that mess hurts. When someone breaks your heart, when you feel alone in this world, when you felt like you had at least one person who understood you, who loved you, who you could count on, when you're in the stage of life, which a lot of us are in, where you're still getting to know who you are, where you're still learning what life means for you, when you're battling one of the most intense battles that you'll ever battle, when it comes to loving yourself, And then someone turns around and makes you feel as if you're unlovable, as if you're worthless, as if you possess no meaning. And you know, when you're a teenager or when you're a young adult, you don't always yet have the tools in your arsenal to defend yourself against that type of attack. You know, that can be so damaging to someone's soul, especially a young person. So I do agree with you, Brandy, that loneliness can yield so much pain. I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to talk about that. So getting started in the conversation, I just want to say no pain, no gain. You guys have all heard that before. Because I believe that, you know, pain is a necessary part of growth, then unfortunately, anytime you're going to a new level in life, you have to expect to experience some pain. Right now, I watch my daughter. She's a 6-month-old baby, and she's starting to teeth, and it sucks. But oh my gosh, how wonderful is it going to be when she has teeth? You know, no pain, no gain. And it's easier for me to look at her as a child because I already know everything that she's facing. I already know everything that's to come, all the good and all the glory that's to come in her life. I know she's going to have teeth. I know she's going to be able to walk. I know she's going to be able to talk. All these wonderful things that await her in this first stage of life. And so it's easy for me to help her work through her pain. It's easy for me to also seek solution. Okay, you're teething. Some things need to change. I need to start giving you teething toys, teething tablets. I need to start giving you more patience, more time, more love, attention, because you're going through this phase of life that you have to go through, this necessary phase in order to get to the next stage in life. And so because I know already as her parent, I'm going to allow her to go through that pain and I'm going to aid her through that pain, right? When she becomes a teenager, she will be experiencing the pain of heartbreak, the pain that comes of disapproval by one's peers. She may get bullied. She may get disappointed because she wasn't able to get the role in the school play that she went for. She may get disappointed because she doesn't get into the college that she wanted to get into. So she's going to experience a lot of pain that comes from disappointment. You know, she'll also experience physical pain. She may get into a fight. You know, she may have to experience what it's like to learn how to defend herself. And all of us are experiencing a variety of pains. And I think that when we are helping someone else through their pain, and their pain is one that we felt before, we know what is on the other side of that pain, it's easy for us to see clearly. But when we're going through our own pain, sometimes it's foggy because we don't always know what's on the other side of that pain. We don't always know what God has waiting for us on the other side of that. And so we have to keep top of mind that no pain, no gain. Most likely, if you're experiencing pain right now because of heartbreak, if you're experiencing pain right now because of disappointment, I said in my post on Facebook yesterday and last night, when I posted this, you know, I said that you can hate yourself or you can help yourself. Sometimes you're experiencing the same pain over and over and over, the pain of disappointing yourself, the pain of failure, and you start to take that and you start to hate yourself. You start to tell yourself things like, I must be no good at this. I must just not be meant to ever have my own car because every time I get a car, I break it. Or I must never be meant to have my own place because every time I try to save up for it, something comes along and rips me of all the money that I have. I must not be meant to have a happy, healthy relationship. That must just not be meant for me. And what you're doing in that situation is you're taking your pain and you're using it as an indicator of your worthlessness. And it's just not true. You can change your mindset about what pain means. You can say, maybe this pain is an indication that something needs to change. A lot of times that's what it is. There are two different types of pain, in my opinion. There's reoccurring pain that oftentimes is self-induced and self-promoted. And then there's temporary pain. Pains that we have to go through whether or not we did anything. Like teething. She's not doing anything to cause that pain on herself. It's a necessary part of life. You know, your first heartbreak, that's a necessary part of life. Unfortunately, you know, the first time that you lose something. I remember when I was young, I started to experience loss, and I told myself, I can't handle this pain. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start letting go of my attachment to physical things. And it was hard. I remember, I worked really hard, going into my ninth grade year. My mom had relapsed on drugs. My whole world was just flipped upside down, and I had to figure life out really quickly. So I worked really hard to save up to buy myself all the school clothes and school supplies I needed. I was blessed by a lot of people along the way to aid me in that. And I finally was able to buy all my school clothes, school supplies. My mom was living in a motel at the time, and we were still kind of with her and just doing our own thing. And so I stayed with her at the motel a few nights, and then she ended up losing her room and everything in it. So all that stuff that I had worked so hard for, I definitely cried, y'all. But I couldn't. I was like, I can't. I could cry over this over and over and over, or I could get up and I could try again, and I can learn from this. Not necessarily for me, it wasn't necessarily a mistake, but it was a lesson. I could learn from this lesson. I can't trust my mom right now. She's addicted to drugs. She's not somebody who I can depend on to watch over my things. And in this life, I may lose my things all the time. And so I have to let go of this attachment to what value these things bring to me. And through that, I was able to learn, not to hold on to physical possessions, like in terms of making me happy and making me feel valued. I would get things, and then sometimes I would lose things. I would lose $100 at a time sometimes, which is a lot for a teenager who's working for every single dollar, and I would be like, you know what? I'm not even going to sweat it. People started to look at me like, how could you lose that and not be upset? I would look at other people losing things, other people going through different types of pain, and how they dealt with it, how they would just rid themselves of all hope and optimism, and how they would give up. And although I felt like doing that a lot of times because I was taught, or because I had to learn how to deal with my pain at such a young age, I was able to get through some of the early adulthood pains a lot easier than some of my peers. And so I share that with you guys. That's exactly how you feel, Brandy. Yeah. So I share that with you guys because when you start to develop tools and ways of working through your pain, you'll notice that your pain doesn't last as long. So there's recurring pain, and that's pain that I feel like I said is self-induced, and then there's temporary pain that you didn't bring on yourself, but you still have to learn to work through. Now, when it comes to the reoccurring pain, I want to talk to you guys about that because that's the main thing. Is the pain, you have to ask yourself when you're dealing with pain, you have to assess your pain. You have to ask yourself what type of pain it is. And then you have to ask yourself what the source of that pain is. And a lot of times what you'll find is that you are allowing yourself to go through the same thing over and over and over. And that is why you're experiencing the same pain. And that is a hard pill to swallow, I know, because we all do it to ourselves. Okay? Ask yourself, are you allowing yourself to go through the same thing that leads to your pain, i.e., a broken relationship? Some relationships are just dead-end relationships. How do you know? We can do a whole video about that if you guys want. Type that in the comments if you guys want me to do a video about how you know, or how you know you're probably in a dead-end relationship. But I think some of us, internally, we've already discovered that that's what it is. We've even said it out loud, but we're just not willing to actually do anything about it. And so when I encounter those types of people, my friends, my family, even myself at a time when I was experiencing it, I'm sorry, I can't sit and soak in your pain for too long with you. I have to remind you, you can do something about this. You can choose to walk away from this relationship. It may not be easy, and you may be giving everything up. I remember me and my husband went through a moment in time where he did something, and I was like, it's done. It's a wrap. I don't stick around for stuff like this. I'm sorry. That's because I had already prepared my mind before I got to my husband, but in relationships prior to my husband, I'd already seen what it's like to hold on to something that I know that I'm not going to be able to get over, that I know that I'm not going to be able to be happy through. I'm going to constantly experience pain as a result of it. And so I was like, it's over. I'm done. Now, by the grace of God, he was able to not only tell me, apologize to me for what he did, not only tell me that I'll never have to experience that again, but show me. We were able to work through that, and so far, so good, But sometimes we're in relationships where someone will do something to hurt us. They'll apologize, but then they'll do it again. A lot of times right away, and then they'll do it again, and they'll do it again. And at that point, you have to remind yourself, you're allowing that to an extent. It's no longer their fault. You had the the pain that, like I said, there's recurring pain, and then there's pain, you know, that you have to go through. You had that one time temporary pain. It could have been temporary. You could have forgave them. You guys could have tried again, and then when they showed you again that they weren't really apologetic because they did it again, when they showed you again that they really couldn't be trusted, at that point you had a decision to make, and you still probably have a decision to make. And I'm here to tell you, if that thing or that person, that instance, that thing that's happening is bringing you constant pain, you don't have to experience it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can work through it. Maybe you'll have to experience the pain of loss for a minute. You already experienced the pain of betrayal, the pain of disappointment, whatever it is they did to hurt you. You may have to experience a temporary pain of loss. But through that loss, I promise you, you're going to gain so much more. You're going to gain insight. You're going to gain self-worth. You're going to gain self-love. You're going to learn what you need in a relationship in order to feel secure. And you'll be able to take that gold to your next relationship rather than taking the pain to your next relationship. Rather than breaking things off when you can no longer hold on anymore at all. Rather than allowing your relationship to get to a point where it just can't survive anymore. Your relationship to get to a point where it's like, yo, you're now you went from emotionally and mentally abusing me to physically abusing me. Now I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Now you went from cheating on me in private to cheating on me in public. Now I gotta go. You don't want to let your relationship get to the point where you're forced out of it, because, and then next thing you know, you fall into the arms of another person for healing. Because what happens in those situations is you take all that baggage with you because you never worked through it. Allow yourself to feel the burn of the pain. That is one of my best pieces of advice. When I'm experiencing pain and I know it hurts, I stop everything and I feel it. I tell myself, what does this feel like? I want to feel every aspect of it. I cry through it. I complain through it. I pray through it. I feel every aspect of that pain so that I know what that feels like. And when I work through it and I get through it, I know how not to ever have to go through it again. Doesn't mean I won't go through pain again, but I'm not going to keep dealing with that pain. Not when God has given me the opportunity to go through it, work through it, and grow through it. God allows us to experience pain for our growth, our spiritual growth, our physical growth, sometimes growth for someone else. And a lot of times we run from pain. We run, I don't want to feel this, I don't want to feel this, I don't want to feel this, so I'm going to jump from your bed to your bed because I don't want to feel that pain. I don't want to feel the pain that comes when I'm trying to work out and get in shape. So I'm gonna take 3 days off of my gym life when I told myself I was going every day. Because I don't want to feel the burn that comes from it. You know what I'm saying? God bless you, baby. I don't want to feel the pain of having to say no over and over and over and lose friendships because what you guys are engaging in I know is not healthy for me. And now I'm losing friendships as a result. I don't want to feel that pain. So I'm gonna submit to peer pressure, and I'm going to take that hit. I'm going to submit to peer pressure, and I'm going to spend that money when I know I shouldn't spend it because I'm on a serious financial goal. I got a serious financial goal in place, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we don't want to experience the pain that is required for growth. And I challenge you to actually experience your pain, assess your pain. Figure out where it's coming from. Is this a temporary pain that you've never experienced before, that you must be going through something new because you're getting to something new? And what does that mean to you? Or is this a reoccurring pain that you're allowing in your life? I'll read some of your comments real quick. I'm 37 years old. I'm a 37-year-old woman with a 10-year-old daughter. I have a professional career. Shout out to you, Brandy. Yet it's still not enough to provide for my child. Sorry to hear that. I'm living with my mother. I feel like I'm failing myself and her. Brandy, thank you so much for expressing that. I just want to let you know right now that if you're, take everything I just got through saying. Experience the burn of this pain. You're 37. First of all, you need to remind yourself of everything that you have to be proud of. Because right now, the enemy is going to try and make you just focus on everything you don't have. Okay? When I look at people who move back home because they know it's better, I applaud those people. Shout out to you. I'm like, thank you for humbling yourself to do what you know you need to do. Now, if you're living at home and you're just taking advantage of your mom, that's an issue. But most likely, if that was you, you wouldn't be here on this morning tea talk trying to better yourself. And you wouldn't even acknowledge it as a problem. It wouldn't even hurt you. You'd be at home. Your mom would be the one hurting because she'd be like, man, my daughter's living here taking advantage of me. But you're the one that's hurting because you know this is not where you want to be. You know that this is a transitional spot. You probably are confused about everything that you're supposed to be doing in this state and how to get back on your feet. But I promise you, you will. Focus on the positive aspects of what you're going through. The fact that hopefully you're able to save some money. The fact that you do have a professional career. A lot of people don't have that. The fact that you're probably clearing some debt, or hopefully you're not failing anybody. First of all, when I was 10 years old, we were poor, and I didn't start realizing how poor I was until I was like 12. I just knew that I asked mom for what I wanted, and she either said yes or no. Like, that's it. Your 10-year-old daughter, very likely, she probably notices some things, because kids are real smart these days, but she doesn't really fully understand what's going on in her life. She probably, I don't know your relationship with your mom, but maybe she loves your mom and she's happy to see grandma every day. You don't have to feel like you're failing her. You don't have to accept that defeat. You don't have to accept that as your reality. You know what I'm saying? You could rewrite that story rather than saying I'm 37 years old and living at home. You could say I'm 37 years old. I am a professional. I choose to live with my mom right now because it's wiser for us financially. I am saving my money. I am building a legacy. I am preventing my daughter from ever having to go through some of the pitfalls I had to go through. I'm setting her up for success, and I have a smile on my face every day as a result. You can choose to rewrite your story. Well, I don't know what's going on in your personal love life. I don't know what's going on with your health. I don't know what's going on with your relationships with your mom and with your daughter. But I can tell you, I'm pretty sure you can rewrite every single aspect of your story to be positive and be powerful, and you can see optimistically what your future holds. You can ask yourself, what is the reason for my pain? What could this pain possibly bring about? And focus on that. Like the person in the gym, they can say that the pain that comes as a result of the hard work that they put in the day before, it could be an indication that maybe they should give up. Oh, I shouldn't be going through this pain. Something's wrong. I could give up. Or they can know, this pain is a purposeful part of me getting these gains. When you're in labor, you're bringing life into this world. Still to this day, I have never done anything more important. I look at her every day and I'm like, there's nothing I've ever done in this world that was as important as this thing right here. And I've never gone through that much pain either. Never, ever. I will never forget what that pain was like. And a lot of times you have to go through greater levels of pain and discomfort to experience greater levels of gain and success. So I don't want to talk y'all ears off too much longer. I feel like it's been a while that we've been on this live. Thank you guys for all of your feedback, for joining me today. I hope this blessed you and it helped you. Comment in this video if it did. We can keep this conversation going in the comments of this video because it will be posted on my page. Please let me know any suggestions you guys have about topics you want to discuss. God bless you. I'm praying for y'all. And I'll see you tomorrow morning for another Morning Tea Talk live on my channel. It's me, Miss Ruby. Subscribe, turn on your notifications, and join me. All right? God bless you. Bye-bye.